Welcome to Mishna study Masachat Sheviit, Perek Yod, Mishnah Aleph. Over here in this Perek, we're going to discuss what we call a perosbol and its relevance to the Shemitah. So we know the laws of the Shemitah, and a lot of this Perek is going to focus on this as well, is that all debts are canceled out. So at the end of the Shemitah year, right? So Rosh Hashanah of the first year. So like this year is the Shemitah year. So this upcoming Rosh Hashanah, all debts are canceled out. And we know this from the Torah, from the Pasuk in Devarim, Perek Tetvav. It says, Miketz Sheva Shanim Ta'aseh Shemitah. At the end of 7 years, right, you shall practice the law of Shemitah. Bezeh Devar Shemitah. This is what the Shemitah is. Shamot Kol Ba'al Mashe Yado Asher Yashev Re'ahu. Right, this is the nature of the Shemitah. All creditors need to cancel out all the debts, people that owe them money. They forgive all those loans, and it really just restarts a certain process. And really, this is the way the Torah is able to really bring society back to bridge certain gaps between the higher class and the lower class, and the higher class needs to lend money, right? They need to lend money to the poor, and at the same time the poor needs to pay it back. If it happens though that the Shemitah comes up 7 years later, then all the debts get canceled out. It's a very interesting concept, very novel concept that the Torah introduces, and the Torah also speaks to the certain challenges that this may come along with. So the Torah speaks about you can't hold back from lending the ani money. You always have to be able to lend the ani, the poor person, money. Open your hand to give him. Lend him whatever he needs, where it's sufficient to meet his needs. And then it says, you may have something, evil in your heart saying, what are you going to say? The 7th year is approaching. And what's going to be? You're going to have a little bit stingy to your ani, to the poor person who's living amongst you. And you may not give him. He'll reach out to God, he'll call out to Hashem, and it'll be a sin for you. You must give him, you must provide the ani, even if the Shemitah is coming up. And you're not going to feel bad when you give it to him. Because this, Hashem will always bless you with everything you do and everything that you try to undertake. Right? So it's an amazing concept that the Torah introduces. One, to provide for the ani, and two, the way the Torah really views the responsibility of the wealthy to deal with it. So now we're going to focus on this concept. From the Mishnah is going to deal with it from the bottom up. So that was the Pesukim from the Torah, now from the Mishnah. Sheviit mishametet et hamilveh. Right, the Sheviit cancels out any loan. Bishtar v'shelo bishtar, whether there is a document, right, loan signed, or there's no contract. Now, Hanabam over here says, when we say contract and no contract, a contract is a contract that's signed with property attached to it. If you don't pay me back, then I'm allowed to go after your real estate. And Shelo Bishtar, he explains that it's actually a contract, not there's no actual contract. There's a contract, but there's no lien on it, right? I can't go after any real estate if the loan wasn't paid back on time. Right? This is according to Rav and Shemuel in the Gemara. Rabbi Yochanan and Resh Lakish are actually explained differently. They say Shelo Bishtar is not no contract at all. But Rambam is posek with Rav and Shemuel. When it says no contract over here, is speaking about right, not the best type of contract. Right? It's a contract without any lien on it, without any property attached to it. Hakafata Hanut. Next case is, let's say a person is buying on store credit. He goes to the grocery store. He's purchasing. right? Purchases, apples, some oranges, some meat, whatever he goes, and now he comes, Shemitah comes. Is the owner of the store allowed to collect that money? Or do we say, no, it's a loan and it was canceled out? So the Mishnah over here says, Akafat hanut, store credit, and a mishametet, that's not canceled out. Why? Harambam explains, because when a person is giving store credit, he's not giving it as a loan. He's not looking to lend the person money. He's looking just to let the sum add up to a little bit more with something more substantial that it's easier to accept payment for. Right? So that's the thought process. Because he's not doing it as a loan, therefore the Shemitah doesn't cancel that out. Let's say though, he goes and turns it into, he tells himself, no, I'll lend it to you. Right? At that point, the Shemitah will cancel that out. Rabbi Yehuda argues in Tanakama, and he says, the first one, the earlier ones, get canceled out. Meaning the person goes, he buys something on store credit, he buys oranges on store credit, then he buys apples, and then he buys, he goes and buys some milk. Right? So then when he buys the apples, the oranges got canceled out. When he buys the milk, the apples got canceled out. So the previous one keeps on getting canceled, because at that point, each one, when you buy something new, the previous one becomes a loan, according to the Yehuda. The next case in the Mishnah is Sechar Sachir, an employee's wages. What if he wasn't paid on time? Is that considered a loan? Does he get that paid back? So the Mishnah says, Eno Mashmit. No, that doesn't get canceled out. If he did create to turn into a loan, then it does get canceled out. Rabbi Yosef says, if it's a melacha, if it's a type of work that doesn't get worked on in the Sheviit, you can't work anymore, right? Such as what, like plowing a field, right? Or pruning trees, right? These are things that people can't do on the Shemitah year. So because he's taking that year off, then everything that you should have been paid before, you should have collected over that year. And if you didn't collect it, it's already turned into a loan. It's not considered anymore as wages, according to the Yosef. But if it's a work that he's allowed to continue working on the Sheviit, right? A salesman, I don't know, whatever you may do, right? Something that he's allowed to do on the Sheviit, that's not mishametet, right? That doesn't get canceled out. Halacha is not like Rabbi Yehuda, not like Rabbi Yosef, rather like Tanakama, that all loans get wiped out. It doesn't, regardless of what melacha, right? Regardless of what job it may be. As we said, the creditor, store credit, does not get wiped out under any condition, right? And like we said, all work, even any wages, also does not get wiped out.